first impression is the taxi price is very expensive. The popular transportation mode here is bike.
I would say at the beginning I feel a bit disappointed. I didn't see any building is above 10 floors.
It's so windy.
The people here, they all speak English. You cannot see people shoulder to shoulder, foot to foot. You cannot see that. It always have space. They all look truly happy.
People, a couple for example, they do not share blanket.
Yeah, this will be our first video in this channel, and later we would also share more about life and work here. As everyone knows, Denmark is famous as the most happiest country in the world. So we want to give our view from the Asian angle, not only about how the country is attractive. It's also about the daily life as a common people, how you connect with this country's culture. I'm Joan, I'm Chinese. This is Nick. Nick is coming from Thailand. Today we are going to talking about the first impression when we arrive Denmark for first time. For specifically Copenhagen, city Copenhagen, the capital of Denmark. We arrived in 2019, February, just right after Chinese New Year. Yeah, if we take a comparison with Shanghai, from city center to airport, Shanghai, that's usually take 40 minutes, maybe 30 minutes if there's no traffic. Then the cost is about within 100,
yeah,
100, yeah, definitely within 200. But here, the taxi fare is, the meters goes very fast.
Yeah.
So basically, as long as you get in, it's already 200 above. So when we take taxi from airport to our hotel, it's also in downtown. The time it took about like 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Maximum 20 minutes, but it costs about 400 kron, which is similar to the RMB currency.
But the taxi here is Mercedes. Because in Asia, we're so used to having Japanese brand, Asian brand.
Volkswagen.
Yeah, for taxi.
Yeah, for taxi.
Yeah, but here it's like taxi is Mercedes, which is very luxurious brand in Asia. It's like, wow.
I even got Tesla once.
Yeah, it's like, wow, this is so fancy having a taxi. Is it Mercedes or Tesla? It's like, I cannot even get to be on Tesla in my normal life. Anyway, so the taxi is very expensive. Apart from taxi, our first glance of transportation, the popular transportation mode here is bike. We know before we come here that Copenhagen is very famous for bike culture.
Yeah.
We've seen in YouTube before.
We even be reminded by by the locals before we come to Copenhagen. People already remind us, yeah, you need to be prepared. This is have a very strong culture of the bike in the city. And this also reminded me when it's back to the 2010 Shanghai Expo, when the Denmark as a country, they built a building in the expo fields. They built a bicycle way there. So they took this seriously as their culture, country culture. The city, still we use Shanghai as comparison. I mean, Shanghai, Beijing, even Hangzhou, a lot of cities look much more modern than here. So I feel a bit disappointed because I didn't see any skylines. I didn't see any building is above 10 floors, at least in the city center. So here the the most common building, the resident building is like 6 floors, 7 floors, plus the penthouse. But it's relatively not that as modern as we see in Asia.
I won't say it's not modern. I mean, it's modern in a way of their architects.
The art style.
The art style is modern. They have, well, they're famous for Danish design, right? So they have,
of course,
they have the modern design, just that they don't have the skyrocketing building like we have in Asia. So we feel like it's a bit different from what our definition of big city is. It have to be full of business area, a skyrocketing building, CBD, and here is not as such. So the definition changed here. The wind.
Yeah, the next thing is the wind. I think that is it's quite special here. Yeah, and imagine you have to bike in this windy weather, and people seems very enjoy that on that.
I don't think they enjoy, but they somehow get used to it. They get through it.
And also they know how to use this wind. They have lots of windmill along the seashore to create clean energy.
Yeah, so they use this wind as their advantage. But for us, as a first glance, it's like, whoa, this city is so windy.
The people here, they all speak English. Even though English is not their mother language, but it's so common. Basically everyone, literally everyone. The people in supermarkets, the people in 7-Eleven, the people just people on the street.
So I guess they have been bilingual for several generations now.
Yeah, I think in their education they just have English studying from a very early stage.
Yeah.
That's why everyone can speak English. That's why this also make an expatriate people, it's even easy to live in this city.
The population is kind of little compared to our previous city.
Compared to Asian.
Yeah.
The whole Denmark population is within 6 million.
Yeah, and we previously live in Shanghai, right? So China is very famous for crowded, a lot of population and stuff. And here, even in the first glance that I arrived Copenhagen, I feel like, oh, so their definition of crowded is really different from what I define crowded back in Asia.
So we take the subway. You cannot see people shoulder to shoulder, foot to foot. You cannot see that. It always have space, and most of times it have seat. You can have a seat. And one thing I also feel surprised in the park is people can actually walking on the grass. I know this sounds very ridiculous, because in the previous city in China, most of them were not allowed to walking on the grass. And the reason for that is we need to protect the grass. If too many people step on them, the grass probably will be gone.
But then you need to keep in mind that you come from a strange place, right? I mean, I'm pretty sure that like walking on the grass is a very normal thing outside China.
Maybe.
At least in Thailand, it's very normal. You can walk on the grass. But in China, I actually saw that like you actually put some kind of fence to stop people from walking on the grass, which for me at that time was also my culture shock. Like, why do you need to stop me from walking on the grass?
It's because we need to protect the grass. And here seems they don't have this concern, and the grass also look very fine. But this is related to the small population here. Denmark is famous as one of the happiest country in the world. So that's the reputation they earned in global wise, and every year ranking is continue to prove that. So when I arrived here, another strong comparison or something remind me every day is when I go into the street, when I'm walking on the street, when I see the people, they talking to each other or they walking in the other side of the street, they all look truly happy. So they have this smile on their face. And this smile is not like smile to everyone, laughing to everyone, that very exposure smile. It's the happiness that comes from inside, and naturally the smile come out from the face. So when I see that, I feel, oh, this place is so good, everyone happy, in peace. And I believe everyone here, they truly believe they are in the happy shape.
Well, I cannot see like you, like everyone is truly happy. I mean, I'm probably not that deep into looking into people, but from a overview, right? So I see people enjoy their life more. For example, in the park, you see people exercise. You see people exercise at 4 p.m. and 5 p.m. for example. So that shows a good work-life balance at a glance. I don't know how many people actually do that at first, but at least you see people do other activity except just working and go home, eat dinner and then sleep, right? So you see more activities going on outside of the office. And also I see, for example, we arrive in winter, right? So there's not a lot of activity, so-called, to be done outdoor, but at least we still see people running.
Yes. Every time you look into outside, no matter it's a park, it's a street, there is one person running. Not the same one, but there is people is running outside. And this is regardless of it's raining, sunshine, cool weather, cold weather, people running on the street, in the park,
yeah,
every day.
Yeah, they keep fit, and that is, for me, is one indication that they do balance their life. At least they love themselves enough to continue their exercise, even though the surrounding is not really for exercise. Like for me, I will not go out running in the dark in winter, 1 degree Celsius, man. It's not happening for me, right? But then the people here, they still go out and running, keep running, do that.
So they must really loving this sport, enjoy that. Otherwise, I don't think people can continue doing these things just because they need to do.
Another thing that we find surprise at first glance is the duets. I don't know if we pronounce it right. The blanket, the blanket in the bed, right? So usually where we come from, the blanket, it will be one blanket for one bed. So for example, even it's a big bed, like queen size bed, right? Like in hotel, if it's queen size bed, it come with a big size blanket.
Yeah, like 2 meter, 2 meter length, 2 meter wide. That's a big one to cover the whole bed.
Yeah, but here, if you get a queen size bed in hotel, it comes with two single blankets. So on the bed they have 2 blankets, and that is the way things are in Denmark. So they have 2 blankets on the same bed because people, a couple for example, they do not share blanket. And that's, I found very surprised, because at least where I come from or where I live in China, big bed come with big blanket. We don't split blanket unless we ask for it.
I think that is our first impression when we arrive Denmark. If you also have the same experience, or you even have more crazy experience, feel free to leave the comment. Thank you.